wilderness was there to be tamed. In 1901, Australia became a nation, and Australians began to embrace the challenge of being a new people in a new and different land. Began to lose their uneasiness with this strange place, to appreciate the wilderness, the bush, as they called it, for its own innate qualities, not for any fancied resemblance to the Europe they'd left behind. Some had learned to see it and to love it for itself, but most still saw the land through European eyes. The clearing of native vegetation was seen as a simple expression of advancing civilization, and on the rare patches of volcanic soil, the settlers did their best to pretend that they were still at home. In the transplanted English culture of traditional Australia, the word garden meant a piece of land from which every trace of native vegetation had been removed and universally replaced with the flowers and trees of 19th century Europe. In their determination to build a new England in the South Seas, the settlers staunchly refused to notice that rainfall followed no pattern at all, that the patches of fertile soil were small and rare. They had come to live in an ancient desert. The fossil soil, long ago leached of its nutrients, and the wayward climate, laid down the unbreakable law for this land. Every living thing must be tough and economical and ingenious, if it is to survive. Life responded to this challenge with fantastic inventiveness, throwing up more than twice as many species as in the more fertile lands of Europe. But there is a plant or an animal for every conceivable ecological niche, no matter how small or tenuous it might be. The wombat is one of the world's great energy misers. It can weigh as much as a sheep, but achieves that size eating only a third as much. Kangaroos and wallabies evolved hopping as the most energy-efficient way of covering large distances. In such an unpredictable environment, it is important to be ready for bad times, but also to be ready for good. Female kangaroos are almost constantly pregnant. They carry a supply of fertilized eggs and a developing embryo so that they can quickly produce an offspring if a season seems promising. The koala copes with the scarcity of resources by doing very little. It avoids competition by eating nothing but the leaves of a few species of gum tree. But if those particular leaves are unavailable, the koala dies. In evolving to perfectly fit one small ecological niche, it has cut off all escape. These dwarf pine trees evolved to live in the spray on this waterfall and 4 others. If the habitat is lost, so is the species. The streams of the plateau flow away from the present, away from the merely ancient. They fall into the abyss of time. The streams lead us into the world as it was, 90 million years ago. The only way of getting to that world is to go through the canyons. There's no other way. Following this route into the past demands experience and careful preparation.
Here, this is amazing!
At least 4 people have died in this canyon.